Okay, hi there. Welcome to Achieve Clips. We're chatting to Emma Gatland here, who owns a photography company and has actually made all the video clips that you've been watching over the last little while. So, thanks for chatting to us, and I think that maybe we can just start off by talking about some of your passion for photography and how that led to you getting involved in the business. Perhaps just passion for photography.
Yeah, my passion started from a hobby. It started traveling around Europe. I picked up a camera up there and I just really got into it, and I found looking through the lens you just saw things in a totally different perspective, and I really just had a whole new door open up with my first camera, and since then it's become a bit of an addiction. So yeah.
And what first camera did you have? A cheap thing that you trailed around with?
Yeah. Actually the first one was a little point and shoot.
Oh, yeah.
And somehow made it work. But then moved up into a little bit of more of a entry level DSLR, and now I own a few that are my children almost. Yeah.
Gee. And support your living, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's essential to have,
Yeah. And how did you transfer or I suppose, was it a natural thing that you moved into becoming part of the way of making a living and becoming an entrepreneur? Or was it more of a conscious decision that, okay, I really want to follow this as a career?
I think it was a bit of both. It's been years of different jobs and never really finding a niche in what I want to do. And always in the back of my head there was do something that you enjoy. And when I knew that it was photography, I decided that that's I want to make a living out of it. And it was after sitting behind desks for hours and hours and being accountable to bosses, and I just needed a change. And so it was a struggle in the first couple of months, and obviously financially you've got overheads with equipment and cash flow, but it's coming on a year later now, and I don't look back at all. Don't regret making the change and taking the risk, and it's been worth it every day. Yeah.
And what was your first job when you decided to go on your own? What did you end up doing?
Sure. I think that's a good question actually. It was actually good old family supporting his daughter. It was commissioned to do some transport photos.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So, but now we've moved on to prettier things such as weddings and flowers and food and yeah.
And what do you enjoy the most?
I would definitely say I thrive on my weddings. It's very people interactive.
Okay.
There's the just the vibe on the day. There's always it's going to end off with a party, and it's working with people and getting to know the different types of people. It's interacting with them. That's really what it's also all about.
And do you have to work with wedding coordinators that you sort of sell your services to, or is it more drawn from the bride and the groom that or
at the moment it's all word of mouth. It's through friends. I'm fortunate to enter into this career with friends in the age group that are getting married. Okay. So I think the most important thing with shooting a wedding is that you connect with the bride and groom, and with them being mates, you're bound to get more of the emotional shots which you need in a wedding.
Nice, yeah.
But at the moment Facebook is a phenomenal help, and I run my business completely off Facebook. Okay. I haven't rushed into a website or portfolio yet because I believe that's what's going to sell you, and that takes time. It really does take a few years to get the portfolio that you want on a website. So right now it's thanks to Facebook, and Twitter, and social media is fantastic, and the odd blog, and you can't go wrong. Yeah.
So you've got a lot of your marketing done off that sort of e-platform
Yes.
and social networking.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you mentioned word of mouth, obviously,
Yes.
as another big one.
Yeah, I think every opportunity, any socializing that you do, you putting yourself out there. Any, getting involved in sports, just hanging out with mates. It's always a constant reminder of talking about work and what you do, and it keeps reminding people that you do it, and slowly it spreads and people remember you. Yeah.
And being passionate about it must help that incredibly.
Yeah, I think it's, for running your own business, you will, I believe that it will be very hard to succeed without passion behind it. Passion is number one in your own business. And that's what's going to make you a success. There's going to be days where you don't want to sit in front of the computer and edit, or you don't want to send out invoices and do a bit of, the admin side, but without the passion of the bigger picture of what you're doing, that's what pulls you through the not so fun times. Yeah.
Neil, maybe you could talk about a bit about the financial side of, especially being a young entrepreneur, getting involved in your own business, and you mentioned earlier that there were some tough times in the beginning.
Yeah.
And maybe just if you could give some insight into how that went.
There's, you learn a lot of lessons already in the last few months of, it's just cash flows and being number one, and to really watch that and not, plan ahead, plan financially, plan a few months ahead. You don't know when you're going to have a good month or a bad month, and when you have a good month, don't go out and blow it all. The first couple of months were tough, and I had to use a bit of savings and just to cover the direct debits and cover a few costs. But now it's starting to roll, and hopefully it will continue to grow financially. I've set myself a few financial goals.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely helps. And you've got to have your goals in place. You've got to know what you want to earn at the end of every month. And that, money is also a big motivator. Financially, definitely just keep motivating yourself, keep reaching for more, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's all linked to, it all comes back to passion at the end of the day, because the quality of the work and the effort that you put into the work comes around and influences the financial side.
Absolutely, yeah. It's also self-worth, that what you've earned at the end of the month is because of what you've done, and that's also very motivating. It's very encouraging.
Perhaps a slightly different question. A lot of the people watching this are in grade 12, and they are hearing what you're saying, and perhaps a few tips for them. You've obviously been through school, varsity, had begun something that you're very passionate about, and I think it would be interesting to hear your thoughts and maybe some words of wisdom for the people watching.
I just think get as much experience in areas, even if it's doing a job you don't want to do it and learn from it, and don't rush into anything. But if you want to start your own business, just make sure you've got that love for what you're going to do behind you, and I think don't give up, never give up. Obviously after 10 years, if it's not working, then maybe relook at things. But there's can and can't, and one of those is going to be right, and it's your attitude that determines that, and your will, and I believe if you really want it, you'll do it. So
there you go. Follow your dreams, work hard at it. It's going to take a lot of time and commitment. Make sure you get experience in them, and you'll be just like Em, successful entrepreneur one day.